Hello, welcome to Lodge Farm. My name's Tony Gibson. I'm the livestock lecturer for the National Diploma and the First Diploma and Level 1 agricultural courses. I'm part of a three-man team. We've got Robert, who's an engineer, used to work for John Neer, and Hamid, who has got a PhD in plant physiology, and he does our crops. So here at the farm at Lodge, we're at the sheep unit, where we lamb down 800 ewes during the winter from February through to April. And currently we've got behind me, you may see some of our lambs from this year's lambing that have all been weighed today by the students using a computerised set of scales that records their individual weights through an ear tag, and the students then can see how much live weight gain they've put on during the time between each weighing. So the students have weighed these, and these have come out at around 45 kilos and now going to be moved on and sold. Behind us we've got a few cattle in the cattle shed. That's normally up at the beef unit, which is at the far side of the college campus. Used to be a dairy farm, but unfortunately that closed a few years ago, and is now a beef unit for sucklers, and we're now setting up a additional beef unit to include rearing dairy calves that have been rejected from the dairy farms. We've got a range of tractors, including a Kubota, which is over to my left, which the students do their spray certificates in there. We've also got in the background a Merlot teleporter that students do their teleporter certificates on. So apart from the primary qualification, students got opportunities to gain skills in operating spray machinery and mixing sprays and operating the teleporters. So it's quite practical based, very hands-on, so you can link what you learn in the classroom with the actual practical out here in the field. Okay, we've moved off from where we were, just outside the sheep pens, and we're now in our actual workshop. In the workshop, as you can see, we've got welding machines, MIG welders. We've also got a separate workshop for welding, as I said earlier. We've got oxyacetylene cutters. We've also got tool machines so that can make parts and for the actual tractors. We've got tyre replacement equipment, so that the days of using metal bars to remove tyres from vehicles no more. You can actually safely use professional equipment. Appropriate hoists to lift engine blocks and other heavy equipment around the workshop. At the back is a whole range of tools and specialised individual hand tools for the students to work with to actually use the right tool for the right job. So this area has to be kept clean and organised so that everything can be found quickly, easily and efficiently. Not only have we got good facilities as regards actual practicals, this is one of the classrooms that our students actually use for their theory lessons. So it's a nice airy bright room with linked to a computer where we can do computerised presentations, link onto the internet to bring in videos and webinars from specialists around the country and the world as well. So we're starting to actually do what they call blended learning, which is not any mixture of practicals, classroom-based activities, but also there will be some element of online learning. Right, so that concludes our actual brief virtual tour of the farm facilities. As you can see, we're quite proud of them, and the more students can experience what we've got here to offer, the better. And hopefully some of you will like to actually consider us as one of your options for your career development. Thank you. Goodbye.
Hello, my name is David Ross. I am one of the lecturers on the Level 3 Forestry and Arboriculture course. I'm also the course manager and one of the main people that you will meet when you first come to attend Malton College. Now, with our course itself, we have a number of facilities that you will use. First of all, you will use mostly the theoretical side of things, which will be your classrooms, the Learning Resources Centre with all the computers. You will also get to use the Arb workshop when we go to the more practical side of things, and also the various equipment that is associated with our industry. We also have a large area of facilities such as the Arboretum, which I'm currently studying, which has a number of different species of trees that you can utilise within your practical sessions and your theory sessions, and also the further afield on the estate, which will again help you, and we also utilise them for theory and practical sessions as well. Now, alongside all of that, you will also utilise, like I've stated previously, a number of bits of equipment regarding to our industry. So that will include your chainsaws, your climbing equipment. We also use our more plant operated machinery such as chippers, stump grinders. With the equipment themselves, you utilise them in learning how they work, how they operate, and use them on practical sessions to gain that relevant experience for when you do get a work placement, which is part of the course, where you will gain invaluable experience utilised by professionals in the industry themselves currently at practice.
This is the Wilson Centre. This is a dedicated centre constructed purely for countryside management. Within it we have a dedicated workshop area, we have a fish management unit, and we also have our game bird rearing unit.
So my name's Steve Judge, I'm the course manager for countryside management. This is our workshop at the Wilson Centre where all students can undertake making and construction of certain things such as bird boxes, bat boxes, owl boxes, and anything really to deal with wood. We have all the tools over in the cupboard over there, where we have a variety of tools ranging from power drills through to hand tools. And we generally use this also when it's wet weather and we can come inside out the rain. Okay, this is our fish management area where we have the potential to rear fish. So if anybody's really interested in fish management, and in particular rearing fish, we can use this facility. Okay, this is the rear of the Wilson Centre where we do quite a lot of our practical work. So as we pan round, you'll see we've got some outbuildings where we could store our tools and some of our equipment and all our survey equipment. And then as we pan round, you'll see that we have an area of field where we can do various practical activities such as creating fences. Okay, we can also do dried stone walling and a variety of other aspects in relation to the course out in this field. We are planning in the future to turn part of this into a wildflower meadow and also plant hedgerows and a little bit of woodland planting in here as well, which will aid the students on their development and countryside management. As we further pan round, you'll see that we've recently installed a concrete pad. This is for when we rear game birds, and as you pan round further, you'll see some panels leaning against the Wilson Centre, and these are what we use to create a pen for our game bird rearing. Okay, this is one of our main areas where we do our practical work. This area is called Clump Wood, and next to Clump Wood we also have a willow coppice where we can copse willows to make things like hurdles. We can make green structures out of the willow and do a variety of things. Okay, this is one of the many ponds we have on the farm. This is one of our conservation ponds. We have recently replaced the pond dipping platform into the wooden structure you can see in front, and this is where students from level 1 through to level 3 can do pond dipping and collect things like newts, aquatic invertebrates, and then identify these species. We're now looking over an area of grassland with a few trees planted on it, which the students are allowed to use the little tractor ride-on mowers and also other farm machinery and practice using farm machinery to cut the grass and do other aspects of habitat management within this field.
I'm Sandra and welcome to Floristry. These are our bespoke rooms. They're large. We do all of our lessons in here except for maths and English and your tutorial and your personal wellbeing session. But pretty much you're always in here. We're ideally situated. We have the coffee shop across the way and we have the ladies' toilets next door and the gents' toilets just beyond that. We always get a fresh delivery of flowers on a Monday, and our flowers are always stored in our bespoke cooler. And we have a big room at the back of the building where we keep all of our mechanics, all our pots, baskets and all the rest of it. And we also have lots of storage for your files. Will always be kept in a locked cupboard, and all the other things that we need will be kept in those cupboards.
So welcome to the Hortic unit. We've got some of our students are just clearing up after their session here, so quite nice to just see where they're heading. We've got a very large area of planting, we've got plenty of tools, and this is basically set aside for horticultural students. And then in the background there we've also got the glass houses. Beginning of the year, it's all about clearing up, tidying up, getting everything, all the planting areas ready for the season ahead. And then over the winter, it's all about looking after the tools and doing the maintenance side as well. So, come this way and we'll go and have a look at some of the areas that are on the Hortic unit. Come this way. So we've got a large area of shrub and tree planting. We do have the Arboretum, but also this area is mainly of shrubs. So there's a lot of pruning going on in here. We see this beautiful tree at the moment. We might be raising up the tree, so part of your course might be actually the pruning of these trees and tending to the shrubs. As I say, we've had a bit of lockdown at the moment, so we are still battling with a few weeds, but that's all part of the process. So come on through. Lovely day today. Wind in the trees. I've got a little slightly overgrown pond here. We do have a few fish in here, and again, one of the modules might be looking at decorative features. How would we fix the pond? How do we make it sure it's all waterproof? And also just check out the goldfish as well, make sure the herons don't come and eat them. This is our pruning area for both part-time and full-time. We have adults and school leavers as well, so everybody can get in to help maintain the area. Okay? We'll come on through here. So we're, where are we? September at the moment. Everything is slowly dying back. You'll be understanding all the different needs of all the different plants. So here we have actually a perennial garden. So it's not so much shrubs. We do have one tree, but these are all the plants that will die back at the end of the season. And understanding what their needs are and how they're going to grow in the early season is all about what's going to happen on your course. We can see the guys are taking up some of the waste material to the compost area. Very, very important now to keep things very sustainable. We like to be environmentally aware, and a lot of the time we're trying to recycle material as well as make sure we use sustainable practices. So welcome to our wildlife area. Again, another aspect of your horticultural course will be encouraging wildlife into the garden, maybe understanding how water works in the garden. We've got a fantastic bug hotel there, small pond here. We've even brought in some leaf collecting areas. So it's all about making the whole plot work for you as a student and enjoying beautiful weather like this, but also just understanding how the ecosystems and all the different plants work together. So another thing you might be doing on your course, will be doing your course, is maybe hard landscaping. So we have a rockery area here. This was actually developed last year by our level 3 students, actually in their first year, but actually it's quite an effective area for getting gravel planting and looking at alpine plants, for example. So we have a range of glass houses. You'll be learning about, again, as I say, the requirements of plants ranging from the tropical end to a temperate end. So this glass house is not heated except by the glass itself. And so you'll be doing a lot of propagation, producing new plants from seeds, but also actually dividing up plants we've already got. So this is our Cambridge one glass house. We've got Cambridge 2, and then we've got what we call the bubble wrap building at the end there. It's a teaching resource there as well. So plenty of indoor and outdoor spaces to work in, and also the only time we're not outdoors is if it's lightning, and the only time we're not in this building is if it's got very, very big hailstorms. But otherwise, we're tough horticulturalists. We'll get out as much as we can. We'll get you out as well.